Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have JOLT019's tournament run for the Voyager Cup. Now this was a Battle for the World tournament. You could only enter if you invited or something. I'm not really too familiar with it. But yeah, we're going to go through his 7-round tournament. Now he did go 5-2. I will leave a link to the tournament page in the description down below if you want to get a feel on what the top players were using and the people who won. I think it was ultimately a 7-way tie or a 6-way tie. I'm not really too sure. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take a look at his team, his battles, and what his opponents were running. And maybe this will help you out for your upcoming tournament, whether it be the Voyager Cup or the regional tournament, because this is the regional format. So I know you guys have been asking for videos because it's very important, because regionals is coming up and you want to win, right? So, or do well at least. But let's go ahead and take a look at his team now. I know it says my team. I'm going to change that once I shoutcast. I know I've been saying that, but I will change that. It's not my team, it's Jolt's team. So let's go ahead and take a look at his team. He has Hypno, Azumel, Altaria, Lucario, Alolan, Muck, and Ludicolo. And his opponent is running Venusaur, Azumel, Defense Deoxys, Probopass, Alolan Marowak, and Noctowl. So looking at Jolt's team, it's actually pretty interesting. I mean, we have some classic picks, some meta Pokemon like Azumel, Hypno, Altaria. Then you have some Pokemon on the spicier side like Ludicolo and Lucario. Not that they're bad, they're not bad at all, but ones that you might not necessarily see on everybody's team, but it's very interesting to see how he plays it. So I'm just going to start commentating these battles so we could take a look. I haven't seen these battles. All I know is he goes 5-3. That's all I know. So yeah, Noctowl comes in from the opponent. Hypno comes in. Hypno is packing that Thunder Punch, so that will be super effective to the Noctowl. Obviously, Noctowl resists Shadow Ball. You would want to go for Thunder Punch anyway. So yeah, going to be able to get to that Thunder Punch right now. And this is this going to, no, not even close to being enough. I knew it wouldn't be enough, but still doing decent amount of damage because Thunder Punch does charge up fast, and Confusion is a powerful, fast move in general. Gonna shield that Sky Attack because Hypno is the last Pokemon not wanting to faint. Gonna go ahead and go for a Punch to try and knock out Noctowl, but it will shield. Can these Confusions knock out Noctowl? It cannot. So it looks like that Noctowl is going to be getting off a Sky Attack right now. And that is going to be, that's not enough. I was about to say that's going to be enough. And then the Thunder Punch coming out from Hypno. This is absolutely crazy. I thought that Hypno was gone. Going to knock out that Alolan Marowak. Holy cow, surviving on 1 HP. So that's a win if I ever saw it. So way to go. That was crazy. So going to win game 1. But obviously there's more games. Moving on to game 2. We do have that Hypno versus Noctowl. So definitely winning the lead in this situation, I would say, because of the Thunder Punch. And Thunder Punch charges up really fast, so I'm going to be hit with the Sky Attack, but we know, we've seen it in the last video, Hypno could take it. Hypno is such a tank, so going to go ahead and go for that Thunder Punch, wanting to do as much damage as possible against the Noctowl. One more Thunder Punch after these Confusions should be enough, so yeah, Hypno is definitely going to be able to win this matchup. Doesn't need to invest the shield at all. Very close, I mean, it's a close matchup, but as long as it has a Thunder Punch, going to be able to win it. Ice Punch would probably do it as well, but Thunder Punch actually going to shield from the Noctowl. So it looks like Noctowl will win that because of the shield, but without shields, that would have went to Hypno. So out comes the Alolan Muck, maybe trying to farm down this Noctowl, not wanting to take any damage. So going to go ahead and use a shield to protect the Muck. Probably wants to just snarl up a lot of energy, trying to feint it. Unfortunately, another Sky Attack comes out from that Noctowl, so going to invest a second shield. Very interesting, but I guess wants to keep this Alolan Muck healthy, so it makes sense. I mean, Marowak or Deoxys could be in the back, both of which Muck is going to do well against. Here comes the Deoxys. Going to actually, wait, I think that Deoxys switched out. That's what it looked like, right? I might have missed that. Yeah, wow, actually pulling out. That was a great play from the opponent. Bringing in Deoxys and then switching out immediately to catch the Dark Pulse with Azumel, taking some of that energy away from Muck. That was actually a really fantastic play from the opponent, and timed it perfectly. So this Azumel doesn't have Play Rough, going to go ahead and go straight for that Hydro Pump. Doing a decent amount of damage. I mean, we've seen this matchup plenty of times before. Obviously, the one with the Play Rough is going to win if Azumel has Play Rough at all. Now, the opposing one does have Play Rough, so going to do some bit of extra damage. This is Azumel going to go ahead and I guess bluff with the Ice Beam, trying to take the shield, not going to get it. So that Azumel I guess was willing to go down. In comes Defense Deoxys. Azumel going to go ahead and go for that big nuke. This is obviously not going to be enough to take out a tanky Pokemon like Deoxys, but it does do a good amount of damage. In comes Muck using the rest of its energy, not touching it at all. We're actually going for the nice. Okay, but that Deoxys will protect itself anyway. The Muck probably figured, Jolt probably figured that's what would happen. So we're going to go ahead and eat that Rock Slide. Can he get to another one? He cannot. So it looks like this Muck is going to faint. So Rock Slide coming out, fainting the Muck. Yep, in comes Azumel. So Azumel is going to go ahead and fall. So the opponent wins game 2. So it's currently 1-1. So well played on both ends. That switch was really impressive on the opponent's end. I really actually liked that switch. So leading with Alolan Muck into Noctowl. Now I actually don't know who wins this matchup. I guess we'll find out. I know Noctowl is super tanky, so we'll see. It looks like Noctowl is going to go ahead and go for a charge attack. Definitely going to be that Sky Attack, but Muck does not want to take any damage, so he will protect himself. Going to go ahead and go for, this is a Sludge Wave, right? I don't think he has Gunk Shot. It is a Sludge Wave. Okay, that does a lot of damage. Wow, that actually does quite a bit of damage. More damage than I expected, to be honest. Muck will go for the Dark Pulse, trying to get as much damage off as possible, but that Noctowl will protect itself and go for a Sky Attack. This Muck is going to be able to eat that Sky Attack, though. I mean, it does good damage. It's almost gone, but it's able to still take it. Muck is going to be able to get to another Dark Pulse. Okay, so this is going to be enough to knock out Noctowl, unless if the Noctowl protects. So let's see. The Noctowl will protect, perhaps trying to farm down the Alolan Muck as it does. So down a shield, but able to win that switch advantage, which does matter in a lot of cases. So out comes Azumel. There's no doubt in my mind this Azumel is going to try and farm up that Noctowl. So Sky Attack hitting the Azumel, and another Sky Attack coming out. Wow. So quite a few Sky Attacks. Going to go ahead and protect, using the last shield to protect Azumel's health, and then fainting down the Noctowl. Totally fine. Let's see what comes in. Hopefully it's something weak to Azumel. It's actually the opposing Azumel, and of course that's not going to be good because that Azumel, as we know, has Play Rough. So Defense Deoxys comes in, but Hypno has a Shadow Ball. Now Shadow Ball is not Stab, so it doesn't get that bonus of attack. It's still going to do a lot though. It's just not going to be enough to knock out the Deoxys. But let's see how much it does do. I am curious. I know it's not going to be enough, but it's doing a good amount of damage, so maybe another Thunder Punch should do it. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So Rock Slide will hit the Hypno, and it looks like Thunder Punch will go into this Deoxys. I don't know if this is going to be enough. It might be. It is not enough. One more confusion will finish it off. That might actually help a little bit because able to get to the Thunder Punch? No, he's not. He does get to it, just not able to click it. Now the Azumel is coming in with Hydro Pump. Missing that Thunder Punch may have actually mattered, and may not have. I'm not really too sure, because if he had the Thunder Punch, he would have been able to get to another Hydro Cannon, perhaps, and knock out the Azumel. Maybe he wouldn't have, though. It looks like the opposing Azumel probably would have gotten to the Play Rough, so I don't think it mattered at the end of the day, because he couldn't have gotten to another Hydro Pump. But yeah, gonna actually go ahead. Jolt's gonna go ahead and lose round 1, but as I said, he goes 5-2, so obviously he does really well in the coming round, so let's go ahead and take a look. So the opponent in this round is running Venusaur, Skarmory, Swampert, Toxicroak, Alolan Marowak, and Stunfisk. So, using that Stunfisk, that new Pokemon that was just released in Pokemon Go, obviously the opponent loves it as much as I do. I think it's fantastic. So it looks like this Hypno is going for the bait, going for the Thunder Punch, wants to perhaps threaten a shield. He will get it from the Swampert, so nice play to go for the bait. Hypno will decide to go ahead and shield this attack because that Hydro Cannon would have been enough to knock it out. Wanting to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. This will either take the last shield or knock out that Swampert, so nice play. Gonna go ahead and knock out the Swampert. Maybe the opponent thought it was going to be a Thunder Punch. I believe Swampert would have survived that Thunder Punch, no doubt. So Thunder Punch coming out into the Skarmory. Now, let's see how much it does. Skarmory will actually protect itself. I don't think that would have done a lot of damage. It would have done okay damage. I would have taken that Thunder Punch, but that's okay. Let's see. In comes Alolan Marowak, hitting the Skarmory. Skarmory will go for a charge attack. Now, Jolt is up a shield. Have to keep that in mind. Sky Attack will hit the Alolan Muck. That actually does good damage. Another Sky Attack coming out from that Skarmory. So Alolan Muck will opt to protect itself. That would have been close. Probably would have taken out that Muck. I would have shielded there too. It's kind of difficult to tell. But the Dark Pulse will hit that Skarmory. It just needs to get to one more Dark Pulse. I think he can do it. Yes, he can. So this Dark Pulse will be enough. Actually undercharging it only to great, but it doesn't matter. He knew it would probably knock it out. Out comes Venusaur, and it looks like the Altaria is in the back. So Altaria doesn't have to worry about any attacks from this Venusaur. Sludge Bomb does pretty good damage, but one Sky Attack is going to be enough. And a couple Sludge Bombs are just not going to be enough to knock out the Altaria. So this Sky Attack will finish off Venusaur, and Jolt is going to win round 1. Not round 1, game 1 in round 2. So nicely played. So let's go ahead and jump into game 2. We do have the Azumarill versus the Alolan Marowak. So this is good for Azumarill. It has Hydro Pump, which will be able to one-shot that Alolan Marowak. And Bubble is also doing a lot of damage, right? Obviously, Ice Beam, Play Rough, not doing much, but Shadow Ball coming out, doing a good amount of damage. So Azumarill is going to go ahead and bluff the Ice Beam, hoping to pick up a shield. Let's see if he can. He cannot. So that Alolan Marowak, I guess, was okay with letting him go down. Totally makes sense. Another Ice Beam, trying to perhaps bluff again, or at least get it super low. So this is Alolan Marowak probably going for another Shadow Ball. No, he's going for the bait, or maybe he didn't have the Shadow Ball ready. But either way, Azumarill is going to be able to win that matchup. Out comes Swampert. And Swampet's going to get to a Hydro Cannon. Yeah, wow, that might have been a CMP type because that Swampert is able to get to that Hydro Cannon. So that will be enough to knock out the Azumarill. So out comes the Altaria, and Altaria does resist all of Swampert's attacks. Unless if it has Sludge Wave, then it would be neutral. And it looks like Hydro Cannon going to hit that Altaria, not doing much damage. In comes Skarmory, out comes Alolan Muck. So obviously a much better matchup. You do want to save that Altaria for the Swampert in the back. So, Alolan Muck will go for the Dark Pulse. Obviously, you can't go for a Poison attack because it's going to be double resisted by the Steel-type Skarmory. So, going to go ahead and shield that, not wanting to take any damage. They are even in shields, and it looks like this Muck is going to be able to get off the Dark Pulse. This is going to do pretty good damage. I think you just need 2 more Dark Pulse. Yeah, 1 more after this to knock out the Skarmory. So, out comes a Charge Attack. Going to go ahead and shield that one up, because he knows that that Altaria has nothing to worry about with that Swampert in the back. So wanting to keep the Alolan Muck healthy so the Altaria can clean up the Swampert. So Dark Pulse hitting that Swampert, but the shield comes up. I would have bailed, but I guess he's okay with letting Alolan Muck go down. So that Hydro Cannon will finish off Alolan Muck. Out comes the Altaria, and this Sky Attack will be enough to knock out the Swampert. Definitely would be enough, right? Yep, gonna go ahead and knock it out. But the Skarmory is super low, so it's not really gonna matter. Gonna be able to take these Sky Attacks for days. Well, maybe not for days. Could only take 1 more, honestly. But this Sky Attack is going to be able to finish off the Skarmory. So, gonna go ahead and win round 2 completely. However, they still have 1 more game because, as you know, in these tournaments for Season 2, we do play 3 games no matter what. Even if you win the first 2, if your opponent still wants to play the 3rd one, you're going to go ahead and play the 3rd one. So, leading with Altaria against Alolan Marowak. So, this definitely favors Altaria. So, going to go ahead and just charge up, trying to get to a Sky Attack. Wants to do as much damage as possible to the Alolan Marowak. So, the Sky Attack will come out from Altaria. Not going to shield. This is probably a Shadow Ball, honestly. There's no reason to bait because I wouldn't expect the shield to come out from Altaria. Going to be the Shadow Ball. And looks like Altaria can farm down. Yes, farm down, not able to get to a second Shadow Ball. So out comes Skarmory. Altaria will switch into Hypno. And the Skarmory will switch into Stunfisk. So we get to see some love for Stunfisk. Hypno will go for that Shadow Ball. This is going to do pretty good damage to Stunfisk. I mean, Stunfisk, I guess its attacks are neutral to Hypno, but it's not like a great counter to it, right? So Hypno gonna go ahead and use a charge attack. Let's see what it is. Going to be discharged. So I mean, okay, that's good damage. Going to get off another attack. So you can see how fast Stunfisk charges, right? All of its moves are good. Mud Bomb there. So Mud Bomb, yeah, I mean, definitely adding up in damage. Definitely doing good damage to this Hypno. Shadow Ball will come out, and that will also do good damage. But the Stunfisk doesn't care. It wants to get off another charge attack. Going to do so just right now. Going to go for the Mud Bomb. Actually, not enough to take it out. In comes Ludicolo, Out comes Skarmory, so Skarmory has to be careful because these Ice Beam attacks are going to be neutral to it. So it's not like it only has grass attacks where it resists it. Ice Beam is neutral to it. So Skarmory looks like it will charge up a little bit of extra energy and go for the Sky Attack. But again, Ludicolo, I mean, Jolt still has 2 shields. So it doesn't really matter at this point. I don't see a way for the opponent to win. Gonna go ahead and double shield and then just go for that Ice Beam. Gonna do good damage. This will not be enough to knock out the Skarmory. It's close, but it's not enough. And Bubbles will finish off Skarmory, and Ludicolo is going to take that. So going 3-0 in round 2, so way to go. Really well played. So let's jump into round 3 against Shadow Piva. That's what it looks like, right? So the opponent is using Hypno, Azumel, Registeel, Toxicroak, Alolan Marowak, and Meganium. So the first Registeel. So we have basically a neutral matchup. We have Azumel versus Registeel, right? Flash Cannon's doing neutral damage. Hydro Pump doing neutral damage. So obviously if the Azumel didn't have Hydro Pump, Registeel would absolutely win that matchup. But now I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen this in Go Battle League and the Great League, right? Doing a lot of damage. And it looks like this Registeel going to go ahead and look to land another Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon going to do a ton of damage, but the Azumel does survive it. And this Azumel just going to go ahead, not going to mess around, going to go for the Ice Beam. You know, just to lower the health on that Registeel, and it looks like the Registeel is going to switch into Azumel. So it looks like Azumel is switching out for this Alolan Muck. So can he land that Sludge Wave? That's going to do massive damage to the Azumel. Going to shield this Hydro Pump, so nice shield on Jolt's side. Going to go for the bluff. Going to go, not going to mess around. Well, actually, he is messing around. He is going for the Dark Pulse, but that Azumel is not going to take that bait. Oh, that's going to set him back. So now he's going for another bait. So the Azumel probably will shield in this situation. No, he will not. So he called a double bait. Wow, that is ultra risky. I've done that before, so I'm not saying don't do it, but it is really risky. So it looks like this Muck is going for a third bait, another Dark Pulse. Oh my gosh, going to pick up the shield there. Okay, so he finally got it, but it cost him an Alolan Muck to do it. So that's unfortunate, but it was a good play. It was nice to try and bait out the shield. So it looks like his Azumel, Jolt Azumel, going to go ahead and fall from that Ice Beam. Totally fine. Let's see what he's going to bring out. This is going to be a tough battle. This is definitely going to be a tough battle. Bringing in Altaria, and that Azumel actually able to get off an Ice Beam. So the Altaria has to protect itself. And try and feint down. Should be able to feint down. Looks like, okay, so the opponent switches in Registeel, and it goes down, and back comes that Azumel. Perhaps that Registeel maybe wanted to catch a charge attack. Going for the Sky Attack against whatever came in. I couldn't see what came in. Toxicroak. Okay. Okay, so now I see why. It looks like that Sky Attack's just going to go into the Toxicroak, and Jolt's actually going to win that. Wow. After missing out on those shield baits, not calling them correctly, still able to win that because of the Altaria versus Toxicroak matchup. Really, really well done. Really well done by Jolt. But we're going to jump into game 2. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Alolan Muck versus Registeel. So we see this a lot in the Ultra League, don't we? In the Go Battle League. Alolan Muck and Registeel are both super common. So for those that don't know, if you only watch my Go Battle League content, the Voyager Cup is very similar to Go Battle League. It's open meta. I mean, there's some restrictions, but for the most part, you get to pick any Pokemon basically. But let's see. It looks like this Alolan Muck will go for the Dark Pulse. So this Dark Pulse going to add up in damage, although the Registeel will protect itself, not wanting to take that attack. So Flash Cannon coming out, hitting that Alolan Muck, doing a lot of damage actually. Did quite a bit of damage, but the Alolan Muck will get to a Dark Pulse. So obviously the opponent knows it's going to be a Dark Pulse. Going to be able to take it though, and then pulling the switch into Hypno to catch the Flash Cannon. But this Flash Cannon is still going to do some good damage to the Hypno. And then Registeel will back out into an Azumel. So that's a very interesting switch, just because Hypno does carry Thunder Punch. Although Thunder Punch, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't do crazy amounts of damage from Hypno, but it does charge up fast, right? In the confusion, doing a lot of damage as well. Ice Beam will hit that Hypno, but it will be shielded, wanting to get off another Thunder Punch, so he's going to go ahead and go for that Thunder Punch. The Azumel will shield that one up totally fine. So it looks like, okay, so no more shields, and this attack will come out. Going to be that Ice Beam. That will be enough to knock out Hypno. So the Altaria basically can't come in, right? Although the Muck is really low. Is he going to be able, he's not going to be able to get, wow, actually switching out. Registeel goes down. Now what's going to come in is going to be Toxicroak? Really? Wow. Wait, how low is that Azumarill? Maybe it's really low. I don't know. Is it low? Because, like, why would you not bring back Azumarill? I don't know. So Sludge Bomb hitting that Altaria, wanting to farm all the way down, not able to do it, not able to risk it, does not want to risk it at all. Gonna go ahead and go for the charge attack, doesn't have to click out any bubbles. Out comes the Azumarill, going for the Sky Attack. Wow, I'm really surprised that opponent did not bring in that Azumarill. He could have definitely gotten to an Ice Beam, there's no doubt about it. In fact, he gets to an Ice Beam now, so I would have definitely brought in that Azumarill. I don't know why he brought in Toxicroak. That was really interesting. I think the opponent could have won that game. But I mean, that's okay. That's okay. It happened. Maybe it was just a misclick. It happens to me. I don't know. Maybe the opponent had a different strategy. But either way, Jolt is going to go ahead and win that one. So we're going to jump into game 3. So Jolt already won this round. So this is round 3, isn't it? So this is still the last battle. It's going to be Hypno versus Azumarill. And it looks like Hypno is definitely loving to stay in this fight because it does have Thunder Punch. Trying to catch that Thunder Punch, but in fact Hypno will be going straight for that Shadow Ball, wanting to get tons of damage off against this Registeel. It does pretty good damage. So the Registeel will go ahead and go for a charge attack. Let's see what it is. Well, obviously it's Flash Cannon. We know what it's going to be. That does a lot of damage as well to Hypno. Going to go ahead and bait now with the Thunder Punch, wanting to pick up a shield. The Registeel possibly might shield this. He does. Okay, so nice shield bait, so the Registeel will get off a Flash Cannon, and that will be shielded by the Hypno. Wanting to win Switch Advantage. Both Pokemon want to win Switch Advantage. Both players, I should say. Shadow Ball coming out from the Hypno, and that will be shielded. Okay, so Registeel probably going to definitely be able to get to... Actually, no, it's switching out into Azumarill. Azumarill going for a charge attack. Probably the Ice Beam. Yep, that's going to be enough to knock out Hypno. So, okay, nice play on the opponent's end. Out comes that Ludicolo. So Ludicolo doesn't have Razor Leaf, it has Bubble, but it has a Grass charge attack, so that's going to do a lot to Azumarill. Ice Beam going to be neutral, going to do good damage. Energy Ball. So Energy Ball was recently buffed. So it's a really good attack now. So Ludicolo going to go ahead and go for that Energy Ball, trying to knock out the Azumarill. Not enough to take it out, actually. I thought it would be, but not quite enough. It did a lot. It almost knocked it out. It just wasn't quite enough. So going to go ahead and shield that one up, and now has enough energy for this Alolan Marowak. However, both those moves are resisted, so it's like, which one do you go for? I guess you go for the Ice Beam. Both are resisted, but you might as well get some damage off, right? So this Alolan Muck is going to go ahead and go for that charge attack. Going to be a Bone Club that will not be enough to knock out the Ludicolo, and Ludicolo does get to another charge attack. Going to be the Energy Ball this time. It looks like Jolt didn't know which attack to go for. That probably would have been me as well. But anyway, bringing in that Alolan Muck, it will be able to eat up this Flash Cannon because look at its health. It's almost at full health, as I said. Going to go ahead and go for that Dark Pulse, which will be enough to knock out the Registeel. So Registeel does collapse, and out comes Alolan Marowak. Bone Club is not going to be enough to take out this Marowak. Nope, not enough, and Snarl is able to feint it down. And Jolt is going to go and move on with a 2-1 record into round 4. So let's take a look at the next opponent's team. This opponent is rocking Wigglytuff, Meganium Swampert, Probopass, Alolan Marowak, and Toxicroak. So really powerful team from the opponent. So it looks like we have a Probopass versus Azumarill. And this Probopass is going to go ahead and get off a charge attack. You do have to be careful for that Thunderbolt. It's going to be Rock Slide. So able to easily take that, charging up for a Hydro Pump, not messing around, just going straight for that Hydro Pump. Wants to get a lot of damage off against Probopass. That may have even knocked it out, I'm not really too sure, but the Probopass will shield. Probopass going for a charge attack. Azumarill will shield this one up, wanting to get off perhaps another Hydro Pump to try and knock out this Probopass. Gonna go ahead and let this one go through. Gonna be another Rock Slide. Okay, so that Probopass might have Magnet Bomb. Maybe it doesn't have Thunderbolt. Getting off a Hydro Pump, but the opponent pulls a really nice switch into what? Into Swampert. So still doing a lot of damage. So that was a really nice catch. because still doing a lot of damage to the Swampert. So Hydro Cannon coming out, not going to do much to Altaria, totally fine. So this Altaria, actually in comes Wigglytuff. So obviously the Dragon Breath going to be resisted, double resisted. Charms are going to do a lot of damage, but at least Jolt is able to get off a Sky Attack into that Wigglytuff, which also does good damage to it. So this is actually a tricky situation. A Charm user, huh? So going to bring in that Alolan Muck. Yes, it does have Sludge Wave, but it's also taking a lot of damage from these Charm attacks, and the opponent still has a shield. So this is actually really tricky, although pulling a switch into Probopass, going to go ahead and get off that charge attack. Wigglytuff not wanting to take any damage, or at least any damage from Sludge Wave, right? So going to go ahead and go for that Dark Pulse against this Probopass. So Probopass will faint. In comes Wigglytuff, and Wigglytuff will be enough to knock out the Alolan Muck and then knock out the Azumel. So nicely played on the opponent's end. Unfortunately, Jolt does go ahead and lose that one. But we're going to jump into game 2. Again, we have 2 more games, so could turn it around. Altaria versus Meganium. So this is a beautiful situation for Jolt. Getting ready to switch just in case the opponent does decide to switch. Frenzy Plant and Earthquake are both resisted, so these attacks are not going to do much to a bulky Pokemon like Altaria. So going to easily be able to take that Frenzy Plant. Switching into Wigglytuff, so that Altaria has to bail ASAP into Alolan Muck. Going to go ahead and go straight for that Sludge Wave, wanting to get a lot of damage off, wanting to put on the pressure. Wow, that Wigglytuff called the bait. It was not a bait, going to knock it out in one hit. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. It was awesome too. It was awesome to see. So Hydro Cannon will knock out the Alolan Muck. Let's see what comes in. Going to be that Ludicolo. So that's totally fine. Ludicolo is going to be able to resist these Hydro Cannons. In fact, it double resisted because it's grass and water. So we're going to go ahead and shield. Interesting shield. And wants to get off this Energy Ball just because this is going to easily knock out that Swampert. But Swampert will protect itself, so maybe trying to get to another one. He was probably afraid of the Sludge Wave, that's why he protected himself. Going to protect himself again. It's actually Earthquake. Okay, so Earthquake would have done a good amount of damage as well. Going for the Ice Beam into Meganium. So nice call to go for the Ice Beam because that would have been enough to knock out Swampert anyway. So Meganium called the possible Energy Ball. Didn't get it correct. And now this Swampert will go ahead and go for a Charge Attack. It's not going to be enough to knock out the Ludicolo. Even an Earthquake, right? No, because it's not very effective. So Ludicolo will go for the Energy Ball. And that will be enough. Well, actually, the shield comes up. But then the Altaria comes in. This is going to be enough to knock out that Swampert. So coming back from a hard loss in Game 1, able to win Game 2. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to Game 3 and see who wins this round. So yeah, Game 3 of Round 4. So let's see. It's going to be Azumel versus Swampert. So I would say this definitely favors Azumel, especially since that Swampert does not have Sludge Wave. So going to go ahead and just charge a bunch of energy. Swampert will go for a charge attack. Probably going to be that Earthquake. It is. It is going to be that Earthquake. Doing a lot of damage, to be fair, right? Azumel will go for the bait. But is it really a bait, though? Because Ice Beam is still neutral and still going to do a lot of damage. But he does get the shield, so really well played. So this attack going to be a Hydro Cannon. But Azumel does not want to take it because that probably would have knocked out. I'm pretty sure that would have knocked out Azumel. Ice Beam going to go in and hit that Swampert. Let's see if it knocks it out. It does not. But it looks like these bubbles. Well, he gets to another Hydro Cannon. Okay, so Azumel looks like Azumel is going to fall. Yeah, it fell. Okay, so Swampert winning that lead. Actually, winning that lead because of the shield. Gonna go ahead and bring in the Ludicolo, get a little bit of energy, fainting the Swampert. Let's see what comes in. Gonna be that Probopass. Okay, so Energy Ball gonna be neutral to Probopass, right? So it's gonna do a lot of damage. Let's see, it does go through. Okay, unshielded. Actually gets a defense drop. Wow, so that's really incredible. Maybe that Probopass might want to switch out. Maybe it still stay in. I mean, these bubbles are now doing a lot of damage. Probably just going to farm down. Yeah, just going to farm down and save its energy for whatever's in the back, right? Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's going to be Wigglytuff. Oh, my. Oh, okay, so I'm kind of speechless because we know there's an Altaria in the back. So gonna go ahead and go for wow, now Altaria comes in wanting to get off the sky attack, does get to it. It's gonna do a lot of damage to the Wigglytuff, but Wigglytuff is still gonna be able to take it. Is it gonna be able to farm down? Wow, this is actually intense. It could have farmed down that Altaria and used the charge attack for the Pokemon in the back, for the Ludicolo in the back. Ludicolo comes in, still going to take that win. Still going to take that win. Nicely played. Going to go ahead and win that round. So for round 5, now I actually only have 2 games. I don't know if he forgot to send me the other one or if I just misplaced the file. But I only have 2 of the battles. But either way, he did lose the last round. Round 4, so let's go ahead and see what happens in round 5. So the opponent does have Hypno, Azumel, Altaria, Bastiodon, Scrafty, and Meganium. A lot of Meganium and Altaria and Azumel and Hypno in this tournament, actually. Very first Scrafty, though, so it's going to be exciting. Hopefully we see that in battle. So Hypno will switch out in favor of Altaria. So this Ludicolo definitely wants to land this Ice Beam. It's going to do a massive amount of damage. In fact, so much damage, a couple more bubbles, going to knock out that Altaria. That is impressive. Insane, I tell you. So out comes Bastiodon. Can it get to this Energy Ball? It gets to the Energy Ball, so going to go ahead and use it right now. Now, Bastiodon is a tank, so it's going to be able to take it. It is neutral, but still, I mean, at least it's better than nothing. Out comes Azumel. Perfect counter to Bastiodon. So going to go ahead and get off that Stone Edge. What I assume to be a Stone Edge, it will be. Doing a good amount of damage, but, you know, Azumel can take it. Switching into Hypno, and Altaria switches in to catch the Thunder Punch. So really nice switch. It is neutral to Altaria compared to being super effective to Azumel. So that was a really nice switch on Jolt's end. I'm going to go ahead and go for that Sky Attack right now. Against Bastiodon. Bastiodon actually shielding. Wow, that was interesting. I guess Bastiodon, I mean, it is low health. I still would have taken that Sky Attack, but going to go ahead and get off a Charge Attack, going to be a Stone Edge. That will knock out the Altaria. Azumel comes in, going for that Ice Beam, wanting to pick up that last shield, wanting to take it away from the opponent. He does take it. Oh, I guess that's why he shielded the Altaria, because this is his last Pokemon, right? So another Ice Beam comes out, trying to knock out that Bastiodon. Not enough, but a bubble will be enough to finish it off. So a really intense game, but able to win that. So jumping into the next game, and this is the final game for round 5, Azumel versus Altaria. So definitely picking up a fantastic lead. I'm assuming the opponent's going to switch because he does not want to be hit by an Ice Beam. I guess he's not going to switch. I thought he would probably switch trying to catch the Ice Beam, but I guess not. Going to go ahead and go for that Sky Attack, wanting to get off damage against the Azumel. Ice Beam will come out, and this definitely has to be shielded. Yep, going to be shielded. And just adding up against the Azumel, switching into Azumel, and this Azumel just going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. Wow, it looked like he was trying to go for Hydro Pump. Maybe it registered Ice Beam by accident, because that Azumel is going to be able to take that easily. So maybe that was an accident. It must have been an accident, because yeah, I don't know. But either way, going to go ahead and shield up this play rough, wanting to keep the Azumel alive, bringing in the Ludicolo. Trying to get to an Energy Ball, this Azumel will go ahead and go for a Charge Attack. Going to be a play rough. That's going to do a lot of damage, probably about 40%, maybe a little bit more to the Ludicolo. Ludicolo, looking to land this Energy Ball, is able to do it. Not enough to knock it out, but another bubble will be, except he does switch into Altaria. Trying to get to this Ice Beam, he does get to it. So this is we've seen how much damage this does to an Altaria. Altaria has to block it, going to knock out the Ludicolo. So in comes the Azumel, going for the Ice Beam. Again, massive damage, guys. Massive damage. Actually, so much damage it's enough to knock out the Altaria, which is good because there's a Lucario in the back. So this Azumel going to switch out into Lucario. This looks like Paige from the Kingdom Cup, right? So Lucario going to go ahead and shield this attack up. Going to be that Flamethrower, so nice shield on Jolt's end. Now going to go ahead and go for a fighting type attack. Is it the Power Up Punch or the Close Combat? It is the Power Up Punch, wanting to boost Lucario's attack and then knocking out the Bastiodon. Out comes Azumel, and it's going to fall to I almost said Ludicolo, but it's going to fall to Lucario. So well played. Moving on to round 6, we have Venusaur, Azumel, Altaria, Bronzong, Stunfisk, and Vigoroth. So we haven't seen Bronzong or Vigoroth yet in this tournament. So it looks like the opponent is leading with Stunfisk. I love Stunfisk. Well, you know, it's not my favorite Pokemon, to be honest, but I love it for Pokemon Go. I think it's really good. So Discharge coming out. It looks like this Hypno is just opting to stay in, going straight for the Shadow Ball. Obviously doesn't want to like go for the Shield Bait just in case it lands unshielded. However, Stunfisk will shield it up. So pretty interesting, but Stunfisk will go for a charge attack. Going to be Discharge. Okay. So it looks like it's going to get to another charge attack. This is either going to be Discharge or Mud Bomb. And it will be a Mud Bomb, so that's not going to be enough to take out Hypno. Hypno is such a tank. Going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. So this probably will knock out that Stunfisk. No, it does not. No, it does not, and Stunfisk does get to a charge attack. Hypno is not going to shield it, so allowing Hypno to go down, losing switch advantage, but still is up a shield. So you have to take that into consideration. Out comes Azumel, going to be able to finish off Stunfisk before it gets to a discharge. Out comes the opposing Azumel. So Azumel just going to go ahead and go straight for the Hydro Pump, wanting to get off damage against this Azumel. So he will get off tons of damage. And it looks like an attack is coming out from the opponent. Let's see what it happens to be. Going to be another Hydro Pump. So this is not a Play Rough variant. So yeah, this is a mirror match we see all the time. We see it in Go Battle League, right? We see it in cups that Azumel is eligible in, because Azumel is such a fantastic Pokemon. Actually switching out into Altaria, the opposing Altaria comes in, and it looks like this Altaria is just going to go ahead and they're both just going to go straight for Sky Attacks. Might as well, right? I mean, might as well. This could be a Dragon Pulse, I guess. Could be a Dazzling Gleam. It's going to be a Sky Attack, right? It is going to be a Sky Attack. Of course, the Jolt is going to go ahead and shield that Altaria and just faint down. And now he does have a Sky Attack for the Azumel. Although Azumel obviously has access to Ice Beam, so we do have to watch out for that. Gonna go ahead and go for that Ice Beam, but Jolt is okay with allowing Altaria to go down. So Altaria will go ahead and faint, but Jolt's own Azumel is going to come in, and he could easily shield this. Even if this was a Play Rough, which he doesn't have, he would have been able to take it, but you might as well shield anyway because you have the shield, and go straight for that Ice Beam. So this Ice Beam is going to be enough to knock out the opposing Azumel, and that's going to go ahead and be the game. So really tough game, but really well played on both players' ends, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Game 2 of Round 6. So it's going to be a Hypno lead versus Altaria. So unfortunately, this Hypno does not have Ice Punch, but I'm still going to go ahead, perhaps go for the Shadow Ball. Let's see. So that Altaria will go ahead and go for the Sky Attack. This is going to do some good damage, neutral damage to Hypno, but Hypno is so bulky it is able to take it. Although keep in mind that these Dragon Breath attacks are doing a lot of damage, right? The damage is definitely adding up. Hypno trying to get to this Thunder Punch so bad, actually is able to get it. That Altaria was trying to farm down. He was probably at another Sky Attack, but Altaria will faint and then, not faint, it will shield and then faint down the Hypno. So out comes the Azumel. Altaria will switch into Bronzong. Bronzong, very interesting switch. Gonna go ahead and go for the Hydro Pump to try and get damage off against this Bronzong. This is going to do some really good damage, but it will be shielded. So out comes the Ludicolo. Both of the charge moves from Ludicolo are actually resisted from Bronzong. So Flash Cannon is actually also resisted from Ludicolo, but it still does some good damage. But the Energy Ball was recently buffed, as I mentioned earlier, so let's see how much damage this does. Okay, I mean, just one more Energy Ball, and actually gets the defense drop, so that was really good. Azumel going to go ahead and shield this attack. Going to be a Flash Cannon. I'm sure the Azumel was probably trying to just farm down, but the Altaria comes in. Altaria Sky Attack going to come through. Not a big deal, not doing much damage. Another Sky Attack coming through, perhaps wanting to shield this. Yep, so Jolt is going to go ahead and shield that one up. And trying to farm down the Altaria, he is able to do it. So he is able to do it. So let's see what comes in. It is going to be the Stunfisk. Okay, so this is very interesting. Hydro Pump is going to hit like a truck, but one discharge should be enough. Wow, that does a lot of damage. Gonna go ahead and get to a charge attack. Is this going to be a discharge though? Did he go for it? He did. He did. Okay, so Azumel going to faint from the discharge, and going to go ahead. Jolt is going to go ahead and lose that one, but that's okay. Still have 2 more rounds in round 6. So gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump into the next game in just a moment. So it's going to be Ludicolo as the lead versus Alteria. So obviously Ludicolo going to be weak to Sky Attack, but at the same time this Alteria is weak to Ice Beam. So it could go either way. Both players basically probably wanting to use their shields. Ice Beam comes out from the Ludicolo, that definitely will be shielded. Sky Attack is coming out, going to be shielded. As I said, both of these Pokemon going to want to use the shields. And Ludicolo is trying desperately to get to another Ice Beam. Oh, it looks like that might have been a CMP tie, I'm not really too sure, but the Ludicolo will shield. Wanting to get off this Ice Beam has to be shielded. It has to be, unless the opponent wants the Alteria to go down. He does not. But Ludicolo, oh no, not going to switch out. Trying to get to the Ice Beam. Who's going to make it? Oh man, he was there, but the Alteria feints him down just before he got it off. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Costing both shields as well, but at least he took both shields from the opponent. So going to be able to take that Sky Attack, and this Alteria actually staying in. Wow, I can't believe that Alteria stayed in, but I guess he didn't want to be locked in with something when he switched. So that Ice Beam will be enough to knock out Alteria, bringing in the Stunfisk. So now in comes Alteria. Stunfisk switches out for Bronzong. So Bronzong is going to be able to resist Dragon Pulse and Sky Attack. So this might be a little bit of a difficult battle, but shields are down. So Dragon Breath still doing a lot of damage. I mean, look how much damage it's doing to a Steel type like Bronzong, right? So Flash Cannon comes out, doing a lot of damage, able to get to another Sky Attack though. I think Jolt is going to get this one because he is going to do some decent damage, and then he's probably going to farm down with Bubble and have enough for a Hydro Pump against that Stunfisk. That's what I think is going to happen. So yeah, he farmed down the Bronzong, has enough for the Hydro Pump. Even if this is a discharge, this is not enough to knock out the Azumel. It's close, but it's not enough. It was a CMP tie. This Hydro Pump is coming out, and this is going to be enough to knock out that Stunfisk. Actually, no, it's not, but another Bubble will. That was crazy. That was a crazy battle. That was a crazy battle. But going to be able to win it, so they're jumping into... this is, I believe, yeah, the final game of round 6, excuse me. Actually, no, we're jumping into round 7, right? So Jolt won round 6. I believe this is round 7, excuse me, guys. But it looks like the opponent is going to have Hypno, Azumel, Alteria, Bastiodon, Alolan Marowak, and Meganium. So yeah, this is definitely round 7. So Sky Attack coming in from Ludicolo, or coming in from Alteria trying to hit the Ludicolo. Ludicolo trying to get to the Ice Beam is successfully able to get to it. So this is a same matchup we saw, right? The previous game. Both of them probably going to invest shields. Alteria does get away with going for a Sky Attack. Ludicolo is going to go ahead and shield it. And that Alteria will switch into Hypno. Ludicolo will switch into Alolan Muck. Fantastic. Even a Focus Blast, right? Even a Focus Blast going to not be enough. It's just going to be a Thunder Punch, able to easily take it. Going to charge up some extra energy. Quite a bit of extra energy. It looks like enough for 2 Dark Pulse. Now, honestly, I don't think this Dark Pulse is enough to knock out the Hypno. Is it? Yeah, it is. Wow. I thought that Hypno would survive, but I guess not. Going for another Dark Pulse immediately. Could have been an Azumel that came in. It's not. It's the Alteria. So it looks like this Alteria trying to farm down. But another Dark Pulse will come out. Wow, this Alolan Muck really doing some work. Really helping out. Knocking out that Alteria. In comes the Meganium. Maybe couldn't get to the Sludge Wave, so just going to go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse. So this Dark Pulse will do some good damage. And then, Ice Beam is definitely going to knock out this Meganium from a Ludicolo. No doubt about it. Able to win that with all 3 Pokemon intact. So really well played. Wow. So let's go ahead and jump into the next game, and yeah, let's see what happens. So it's going to be an Azumel lead versus Meganium. So I don't know, Azumel does have access to the Ice Beam attack, right? But you also have to watch out for Frenzy Plant. Able to catch Frenzy Plant with Alolan Muck. That was a beautiful switch. However, this does allow the opposing Pokemon to switch, although looks like he's not going to. Maybe just farming up for an Earthquake. This could possibly be an Earthquake. Alolan Muck going to shield. It's actually another Frenzy Plant, but that still would have taken the Alolan Muck low. Alolan Muck will go for the Dark Pulse right now, trying to bait out a shield. Is able to get it, so nice play. Trying to farm up into a Azumel, and this Alolan Muck, if this lands, this Sludge Wave, it's going to do massive damage. It does land, so it's going to do some good damage. I guess the opponent did not want to use that last shield. Makes sense. So out comes an Ice Beam, and that will knock out the Alolan Muck. And so the Azumel is going to go ahead and come in. The opposing Azumel, the shiny one, is really low in health. So just going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. This will not be enough to knock it out, but wants to farm down afterwards and is successfully able to do so. So getting some more energy. In comes Meganium. Meganium will go for the Frenzy Plant. Definitely shielding that, right? Azumel will definitely shield that. And it's going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam, trying to get tons of damage off against this Meganium, or take the shield. He does take the shield, switching into a beautiful counter to Meganium, but out comes the opposing Altaria. So trying to get to that Dragon Pulse. Is this a Dragon Pulse from the opposing Altaria? I don't think so. No, it's a Sky Attack, so he's going to be able to get to the Dragon Pulse. So this Dragon Pulse should be enough, right? I mean, it should be enough. It is. Definitely enough. In comes that Meganium. Oh my gosh. Wow, this Meganium definitely... I mean, this Frenzy Plant will be enough to knock out the Altaria because it's really low. But doing a lot of damage as well. In comes Azumel. Wow, Azumel going to be able to take... I don't know. Can Azumel... I don't know. Maybe it can't. I don't know if it could take it. I don't know. No, it cannot. So actually losing game 2. Really well played, though. Really well played. So jumping into the final match of the video, round 7. Let's give it up for these amazing opponents. Jolt and his opponent, both amazing competitors. So definitely catching the lead, Azumel versus the Altaria. So this Azumel definitely wants to land this Ice Beam. Definitely wants to do it, but the Altaria switches out to catch the Ice Beam. That was a beautiful switch on the opponent's end. So Azumel does catch it, switching into the Alolan Muck. So the Alolan Muck definitely wants to land the Sludge Wave. However, he also wants to pick up some shields. So he's going to shield this Ice Beam and go for the bait right now. Going to go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse. This is going to be a tricky situation. So the Dark Pulse does hit, picking up a shield. Okay. Okay, now it looks like he's going for Sludge Wave. So he does get to it. So if this goes unshielded, that is going to knock out the Azumel. So that was a really nice play by Jolt. Going to go ahead and go for the bait and then go for the Sludge Wave. But the Altaria comes out, going for a Sky Attack. I guess Alolan Muck did its job, willing to let it go, although it still survives. Can't get off a Dark Pulse, so that's really unfortunate. Out comes the Azumel. Meganium comes out, Altaria comes out, while Jolt definitely going to... I mean, it's going to be difficult to lose this now. I mean, in Altaria against Meganium, this is Farm City. You know, I mean, the damage, I guess, is adding up for Meganium, so going to have to go for that Sky Attack eventually, but definitely wants to go ahead and charge up quite a bit of energy. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just farm it down. Excuse me. I don't know. It's probably going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack. No, I guess he's just going to commit to the farm down. He's going to not have enough for multiple Sky Attacks. So I guess it's, yeah, I mean, getting super low, but wanting to feint the Meganium and just go for multiple Sky Attacks. One Sky Attack picking up the shield and the other one taking the game. That's what it looks like. So let's see. Yep, picking up the shield. This will not actually take the game, but this is still going to do a lot of damage to that Altaria. And then switching into Azumel, has to get off the Ice Beam. And yeah, this is not going to be enough, but he still has a shield anyway. Ice Beam will knock out Altaria. Jolt ultimately ends up going 5-2, as I mentioned earlier. So congratulations, very impressive tournament run. And if you'd like to submit your tournaments, definitely contact me on Twitter or my Discord. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. See you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.